talking in hushed voices. Strictly speaking, I had already broken the promise I'd made about the list. With Tamika, the girls of my harem had wanted to take turns and share me on a rotation, but when the cannibals had taken me captive, I'd had sex with Tamika in some sort of weird volcano god fertility ritual. Charlie, Zuri, and Addie remained on the raft with me, along with Gabrielle, Shauna, and Tamika, who was sitting just behind me. If I could have scooted forward to give her more room, I would have. But I had an inkling of what lived in the depths below, and I didn't want to tempt it any more than necessary by dangling my toes for a monster's nighttime snack. As soon as we'd rowed out of the lagoon, no one had dipped so much as a toe into the water. Now, knowing that Tamika was sitting directly behind me, it felt awkward. She was young, younger than the college girls, maybe only 18, which in my mind was still the age of consent, even though we were living with a different set of rules here. I found myself wondering if she was pregnant. It had only been one time, but that's all it took. If she were a part of my harem, like Madison or one of the other college girls, I wouldn't worry about it. I would be happy about a child, ecstatic even. But Tamika was a stranger. Thankfully, Tamika didn't know any English that I was aware of, and so perhaps I wouldn't need to tell the girls of my harem quite yet about what had happened. At least it could wait until we landed on the new island. Gabrielle, however, did know English, and she scooted over to me to make room for Zuri, who was double-checking our ropes. So far, all our knots had held, and the floating platform, while disappointing as the sum of our labors, made us feel secure on the water.
"I never thought I would miss it," Gabrielle said softly, "but I am sorry to see the island burn."
She spoke in her soft French accent, and I found it alluring. "You said you'd been on the island 2 years?"
"Yes. If it hadn't been for the cannibals, I don't think I would have made it on my own. But you seem to have hit the jackpot when you got here," Gabrielle said with a smile.
"We were all stranded here together, if that's what you mean. At least the college girls and I. I'm sure you've guessed that the tribeswomen were here already."
"Yes, I guessed as much. I also remembered them somewhat, but I had thought they were dead."
"Oh, yeah? What's the story there? I still don't know enough of their language to find out what happened."
"I don't know all the details, but they were stolen away from their home."
"By your tribe?"
"No, another. A feuding tribe with mine, one that was destroyed not too long ago. But it is good that the women escaped after we burned the other village, because my tribe might not have treated them so gently."
"Did they treat you gently?" I asked, feeling bold.
"For the most part they did, but I am different, and the elders were feeling compassionate the day they found me, half dead on the beach."
I heard the rattling of bones, and turned to see Gabrielle removing her unusual armor. Beneath, she wore nothing but a simple strip of leather around her neck, crisscrossed over her breasts and tied in the back. Her bottoms were nothing more than leather shorts that were tied at her hips. "We might be able to use that," I said, motioning to the bone vest she had removed.
"I feel better getting rid of it."
"Because?"
"It reminds me of hard times, and good times. But if you think it will be of use, you can have it. I don't want it."
She handed the vest to me. It was too dark for me to examine the ceremonial threads woven between the bones, so I stowed it with our weapons, near the raft's mast. "Is your friend Shauna going to do the same?" I asked, looking at her. The cannibal was darker skinned than Gabrielle, shorter, and with thick black hair that fell over her shoulders. I could tell that beneath her vest she wore nothing, and regretted my question. "I meant that I didn't want her to throw hers away either," I said as an afterthought.
"I do not know," Gabrielle answered. "She is mourning her people. I had to almost drag her to the lagoon along with Tamika. They were prepared to die yesterday. If the volcano god did not save them, they were going to be nothing but ash. Of course, I never believed in the volcano god, so it was easy for me. However, I do not think Shauna is ready to discard the armor of her people. Not yet."
"Fair enough," I said.